In 1978, I moved out of the neighborhood to St. Paulie. Paulie never got hooked up on drugs or anything in a different neighborhood. But there again, you know, you go through life and you take different roads out there. Some have thorns, some are easy, some you find shit on it, you get shit all over your shoes. But that's destiny. You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You know? And that's the way it is. There's so many things that happen in our lives that it would take me maybe 6 months to go through this, you know, or even. But throughout your story or throughout your thing that you're doing, you're not too far from here. You know, we can meet like we did today. Come to my house, we'll run over some old tapes.
Yes, sir.
So we can go through some of the
pictures about
like
when they were little and
when Tony was 18 years old. I needed to get a title shot, and the world champion was Davey Moore. Davey Moore was also one of the Tomorrow's champions, and Tony knocked him out of sparring with 18 ounce gloves.
Where was that at?
While we were in training camps, we were in Italy, San Remo, we were in New Jersey, we were in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. And there were some times when they used to spar. Like when we were in Italy, when the Pope, they wanted to assassinate the Pope. Tony was supposed to fight a guy by the name of a black Italian. What the fuck was his name? Sapo. I don't remember the name. Anyway, we were supposed to have some Italian sparring partners to get ready for that fight in San Remo. But being that security wouldn't let some of these guys on the travel, so we had to box everything ourselves. And I remember that it was Alex Ramos, Pucci from New York, who Tony fought as an amateur. And there was Johnny Bumpus, Bump City Bumpus from Seattle, Washington. And there were, who the hell was the other guy? I'm trying to remember who the hell the guy. There was 4 of us. Bobby Ches.
Bobby Ches.
And the head trainer there with the main events was an ex-fighter, world contender, Georgie Benton, real good slick fighter while he was fighting good. And so we're going to have to be sparring among ourselves. So Tony would spar with Alex Ramos 4 rounds, and another 4 rounds with Johnny Bumpus, because he was a southpaw. And Tony was going to fight a southpaw. La Roca, that was Nino La Roca. That was the guy's name. So he was supposed to fight this guy, but we needed southpaw sparring. So Johnny Bumpus was a southpaw. Johnny Bumpus was a welterweight. And Tony was a junior middleweight, 154, which is about 4 pounds difference. As a matter of fact, Davey Moore was a lot bigger than he was. Well, as a matter of fact, Davey Moore was also in camp with us up there. So we had been sparring for about 10 days. Every other day. That day we got to the gym, it says, Georgie Ben said, all right, Tony, you're going to do 4 rounds with Alex Ramos, and you do another 4 with Bumpus, and then we're going to get Tony go to 2 with Johnny Bumpus. Says, hey, wait a minute, hold on right there, Georgie. So I know you're the head coach here and all that, but fuck it, I'm the one spar this son of a bitch anymore. You want some Tony? He says, I can't sleep at night, my ribs are bruised. He said, because he was complaining about his ribs, so we got him a life preserver, you go on a boat.
Okay.
But Tony was still hurting the guy. So I'm not going to spar this animal anymore. He's been hurting me, and I don't want to go into the fight next week injured like this. So he says, let Puche, he's heavier than Tony. Him and Bobby Ches are bigger than Tony. Let them spar with this motherfucker. So Tony says, what the fuck's wrong with you, brother? You know you want to spar with me? I got 18-ounce fucking gloves, man, and you're still bitching. You got that thing around your waist, and you're still bitching. Fuck you, I don't need to talk to you. So he told Georgie, send me home. Fuck it. So Bobby Ches, his trainer, Parks, he says, as a matter of fact, I was going to bring this up. I don't want Bobby sparring with Tony. His ribs are hurting too, and he's got had a little swelling over his eyes, so we're not going to box him. So Georgie says, well, Alex from New York, he says, I guess you're the one holding the bag. He says, fuck, man. He says, I'm getting hurt too. And I said, no, wait a minute. I said, let's just get a couple of more days sparring, and then I'll work mitts with again, which he did, you know. But I told Tony, take it easy with Ramos, man, because you're going to wind up with no sparring partners. No, que chinga tu madre, no, please, man. So I would be holding the, I told Georgie, instead of giving him 3 minutes, just give him 2 minutes. And Ramos, he fought Ramos as an amateur. Before we signed Tony up with main events, Tony was only 16, Ramos was 20. And Ramos was being sponsored by Dudu, Chevy Finkel. He was living in the Bronx with his mother, but he drove a brand new car, had a Rolex watch and all that shit. They were sponsoring him already, but they thought he had a jewel. He was supposed to be the big man turned pro. So when Tony won the Nationals, Shelly Finkel came over and says, would you be interested in signing a promotional contract if there's no Olympics in 1980? I said, well, we'll see. He says, because we'd like to get him into the system with us, because we also have Alex Ramos. Alex Ramos is a 5-time New York Golden Glove champion at 165. Tony's only 56. But that's why we keep them apart from each other. I said, look, Mr. Finkel, you and Lou, and let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck who's there in Tony's path. You know, Tony, you better get out of the fucking way of Tony. Just walk over this motherfucker. So, at that time before the Olympic trials, there was not going to be any Olympics. In 1980, the United States boycotted the Olympics. So they had the sports festival in Colorado Springs. They had 4 fighters out of each weight division. In one of them, they had different brackets with Tony, and the other bracket was Alex Ramos from New York, and 2 other fighters. Tony blew his opponent out, first round knockout, and Ramos beat his opponent. So in the finals, it was just Ramos and Tony. Ramos was a Puerto Rican, big, tough man. Tony, like I said, he was short and gordito. The bell rung and Ramos trying to box him. You know. Tony got inside and started working that body, man. He went down on one fucking knee. Knocked the wind out of him. He got up and holding and running. Then the second round came. I thought he was going to go to the body, and Ramos did this, and he caught him. Boom, dropped him. So Tony beat him on decision. And then they came to me and says, we need to get this guy in with our group. We're willing to sit down with you and see what we can negotiate. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you that right now. I'll give you the figure. I want $150,000 signing bonus. What? I said, I want $150,000 signing bonus. Tony, I don't think we come up with that. We'll give him 35. I said, no, why are we wasting time negotiating? I'll just wait till the right promotion comes along. So I thought I had fucked up because nobody stepped up to the plate. So I said, what the fuck am I going to do? I should have taken the 35. But then I said, well, let me play my gut feeling, my hunch. So I turned him pro. His first 4 pro fights were 10 rounds. He never fought 4, 6, 3. He knocked all 4 of the guys out. Guys with 51 fights, knocked them out in a couple of rounds. So at that time, they didn't have computers. They had that teletype. In the New York Times, they had an article of Tony winning his 4th fight by knockout. So I get a call from the Finkel and the Duvas, and it says they wanted to see if we could renegotiate. So they said, we'll give him $75,000. You're $75,000 short. Oh, Tony, come on, man. You know, we can do this for him. We can get him to a world title fight. We can do all this. I said, well, all that is great. But I told you what I wanted, and you know that the material is there. He's beaten every junior middleweight and every middleweight in the country, in the amateurs. He's got 4 fights under his belt as a pro. He's knocked everybody out. He's fought 10, he's what, 4 10-round fighters. This is what more proof do you want? So they suggested, we'd like to bring you to New York for 10 days, and we want to see him in action with good pros. One would be Wilfredo Benitez, who was the current world champion. Okay. The other was Papo Villa, a number 2 contender in the world, and Bobby Patterson that drew with Hugo Corro in Argentina for the middleweight title. So we've hired these 3 sparring partners. During the course of these 10 days, they're going to be here. We would like you to spar with him. And see, then we'll decide what we're going to do. I said, that's right now. They put us at the Waldorf Astoria. You know, it's $1,500 a night. Then, gee, what the fuck, man? They take us to the gym in a limousine. Caesar's Palace.
No, I never go.
At Caesar's Palace. I mean, at Gleason's gym. Gleason, downtown New York. So we got there, and I thought it was a hell of a damn gym, a fucking fucked up gym, man. Had 3 rings in there, but only plywood. They didn't have nothing extraordinary. Roberto Duran trained there, all world champions trained there. So I had all of Tony's head, his stuff. So we trained 2 days doing gym work, mid work. The 3rd day, he says, you're going to spar today. I'm going to try to get at least 4 rounds out of Tony with Bobby Patterson. And Bobby Patterson was weighing about 175 pounds. I said, this guy's not junior middleweight. He said, well, he fights middleweight, but he's carrying a little extra weight. He doesn't have a fight schedule, but he's been training. So I said, okay, no problem. Shit, it was a fucking war. Tony fucked his mouth, broke his nose. There was blood all over the fucking place. Okay? And second round, Tony comes over, and Ludu was with me. And I was wiping out Tony's blood, the blood that Patterson had all over his gloves and all over, you know. And Tony said, I don't want to hit this son of a bitch anymore, Daddy. This guy's getting hurt. Ludo says, fuck him. He's getting paid. He's getting $500 for this 10 days, for these days that he's the one sparring. Go up there and knock him out if you have to. And Tony tells me in Spanish, ¿Qué chingas tiene este ruco? Pobre pinche negro, lo duele en la madre. Y le digo, hey, ¿quieres el dinero que te van a pagar o no? Pues sí, hijo. Chinga su madre, el nombre fue igual. Pero ya no le pegan, nomás lo agarraba abajo. Lo mandó a chingar su madre. La bruta que el cabrón. Okay, pues checaron aquello. They were taping the thing. And then we went and worked out on double end bag. Mitts worked double end bag. Speed bag. Now Tony used to do this. I don't know.
Tony tenía una cosa que Luduba quería. Luduba wanted to take over, right? He always does that. And
he wanted to
tell Tony, I'll get in the ring. Tell Tony. And he'd look at his father
Well,
Dile cómo hacía.
he went to work in the ring because of who he was.
Of
Like
course.
Emmanuel Stewart, like and all this. See, I was just a secondary coach, but I was Tony's trainer.
I know, pero
So,
Torito would
he would go up
never
there,
do anything.
Tony, come on, Torito, do this, do that, chingada. Tony would look
Papá
at
le
him.
hiciera.
Y luego volteaba y ya, ¿qué chingas quieres que haga? Yo, no, yo le decía en español, venga, deja este pinche ruco, toma lo que yo te digo. Dice, okay, Lou, and Lou would say, I didn't understand that, but I don't think it was too favorable.
O si no, que entonces le dije, we have it in tape down in the corner, and he's telling him it's a promo, how they do the instructions and stuff. And Torito is like this, and he says, like, yeah, whatever. You know, the sarcastic thing, porque nomás su papá.
So the next 2 days that we were up there, I don't put a gym work, you know. He'd be on the rope, hang out for 25 minutes. And then the speed bag. Well, we had the speed bag at the position. Boom, the speed bag split. So, Shelly dijo, shit, did you see that? That fucking speed bag is brand new. He says, can you do that again? I said, well, and Torito, trae otra pera, pinche pera, esta la manda a chingar su madre. So they got another one. And then he bought the guy who was doing the videos, filming the videos, and he, boom, no la renta, boom, no la renta, la chinga, y dice Torito, chinga, voy a quedar mal, no, el otro le puso un chingato, y suena muy bien.
He had a way of getting it that the air would come out.
No, he was just a big puncher. Tony was okay.
No, but
There were some critics.
do that.
There were some critics that would say, well, Tony doesn't know any other way. Like, what does they go? We're going through there. What Ludo told us. The other day he's part of Papo Villa. Papo Villa nomás le aguantó un lado. Papo Villa, bueno, lo agarró, boom, abajo, primero arriba y luego abajo. He went down on one knee and we let him recover. The next one he did this feint, y Papo hizo así y le agarró un pinche upper. Chingo, le rompió todo. So, that only lasted 1 round. Then the Bobby, the last one was Hugo Corro. I mean, ¿qué va a ser este cabrón, hombre?
David Moore?
Wilfredo Benítez.
Benítez.
No, David Moore was not in the
He was
scene
not
yet.
there. Okay.
Wilfredo Benítez was supposed to be there at 1 o'clock. We were there, 2 o'clock, nada. ¿Hasta cuándo voy a ver este pinche boricua? Dije, pues chinga, dije, they were supposed to be at 1, ya tarde. Let's go get a couple of rounds, shadow box. He's not scheduled to fight anyway. So comenzó a entrenar Tonito. De rato llega Gregorio, el papá de Wilfredo Benítez conmigo. So they go over there, están en una mesa y le echan Evelyn, la chiquita, aquel, mirando lo que está con el shadow box. Entonces dice Lou, Mr. Benítez, are you ready for sparring? And he didn't say anything. And Lou May said, this motherfucker got a hair up his ass or what? I said, I don't know. So I said, maybe he doesn't understand English. Oh, yes, he does. So I said, well, let's you and I go up there. So we go up there and I told him, chinga se llama el papá, Gregorio. Don Gregorio, le dije, estamos esperando para guantear con Wilfredo. Mi hijo no va a guantear con ese animal de peligro que me lo lastimen y tenemos una pelea en puerta en 6 semanas y nosotros no somos sparring partners para nadie. Le dije, Lou, he's telling me that he's not a sparring partner. I thought you told me that they were. He said, I know the son of a bitch can understand English, but I want to tell you this so he can understand. Tell this motherfucker that we had agreed on that he was getting in $500 to spar with him. But if he's going to pull out, tell the chicken shit, fuck him. So, entonces, when we left, we were leaving, and Tony caught that this guy did this to us. So that was it. Next day, we just finished training. Next day, I said, well, since we don't have any more sparring, what are we going to do? How do you want your money? 50 grand in cash and a cash check for 100 grand. And they did. Then we flew back. Well, we went back to the hotel and we signed contracts. And then we flew back. And the next fight was in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. And Tony had 4 fights. And he fought Mike Baker, who had drawn. He had a draw with Cuba Correa, the world champion, at 160 pounds. And Mike Baker was 51 fights. Tony had 4. Tony whipped the shit out of him. And but he lasted the 8 rounds. He laid down. The rest was history.
What about the story? I read a story about him sparring with Pipino Cuevas when he was a little kid.
He was 14. I missed that one. When Tony was 14 years old, he's getting ready to go to the JOs. This was going to be in Tucson, Arizona, the Nationals. And I'm talking about the manager and trainer de Pipino Cuevas was hijo de chingada. Okay, I'll remember it. Anyway, they were going. Pipino Cuevas had 5 title defenses. His 6th title defense was going to be in Montreal, Canada, with Clyde Gray from Canada. Okay. He was going to defend the title. Cuevas went in. And Lupe Sanchez was the manager. He made arrangement with the guy that promoted Mike, Tony Padilla, God rest him, died. And Padilla told me Pipino Cuevas is going to use San Antonio as a training site for the title fight in Montreal. And let's try to get him some sparring footage. So we did. But this guy was a monster, knocking everybody out. And I had a kid named Robert Vasquez that was helping him, But man, he fucking hurt Robert one day. He would train at 12 noon. And I told Mr. Sanchez, I said, Señor Sánchez, dígale a Pepino que se detenga, que no la chingue, pues estos chavalos son preliminary fighters, es campeón del mundo, pega muy duro. Yo no le puedo decir a Pepino que agarres un carnicero, a él no le importa con quién vaya, por eso se le está pagando los sparring. Chingada madre. Y Tony Carto me decía, I was in the ring, y Tony me pegaba aquí y decía, dale mis pobres fucking wet man. Hombre, ¿qué chingadas tienes, cabrón? Come on, dale mis pobres. Pinche mojado y le pongo la bomba al lado. Tony, no estés chingando, hombre. Just go do something else, cabrón. So that day, Pepino got a little vocal. Que se acabaron los hombres aquí en San Antonio. Hijo de chingada madre. Y ahí del tiempo, at the same time, Tony me pega aquí. Yo estaba in the ring. On the apron.
Sí.
He said, dale mis padres, this motherfucker, damn. Le dije, ¿sabes qué? Go get ready. Chingas, chinga. Se amarró las manos y la chinga vino para atrás. Dije, órale, cabrón. Dije, acuérdate, hijo de chingada madre, no sabe detener, Tony. Digo, ni yo tampoco. Pues el pinche primer round, todo. Pinche Pepino así, ¿no? De aquellos no tienen chingados. Tony andaba boxeando, ¿ves? Sonó la campana. Tony vino por la esquina y le eché vaselina de agua. Dije, ¿cómo te sientes? Dijo, bien, dijo, I was just timing him, daddy. Pero ya le agarré el tiempo y te digo, su chingada madre, era lo que va a pasar ahorita. Y dicho y hecho, acá le tengo un pinche rechazo. Y este cabrón lo agarra casi, ¡pum! Pinche ópera, que así. Lo pasa y lo hace un lateral y digo, ¡pum! ¡Pum! Y al suelo se ve el Pipino, con las patas para arriba, chinga, y se levanta así. Entonces, el manager el señor Sánchez dice, un momentito, déjame componer la careta. Se le volteó la pinche careta. Él estaba dando, ya tenía colmillo el señor. Don Lupe, agarró, quitó la careta y lo limpió. Making time so he could recover. So I ain't stupid, I know what the fuck he was doing. So, dice, Torito was in the corner, yo le limpié el sudor. Dice, lo lastimaste, hijo su chingada, ahorita lo van a quedar todo. Digo, hey, este es el vato campeón del mundo, está haciendo aquí training camp. La chingada, el hijo de su chingada madre. Le voy a enseñar lo que es un hombre, cabrón. Y en otro para clavarse ese run, lo agarró, papá, aquel se fue entre las cuerdas. Tony le iba a clavar, ¿ves? Entonces brinqué, yo le dije, hey, cabrón. Se bajaron, así no se le llevaron, mira, para el vestidor. Y los, deja tú, había como 300 pinches mexicanos, wall to wall, mexicanos de México, y reporteros y la chingada, y a la verga, chingada. Parecía que todos calladitos. Entonces comencé a plagar a Tony Manopla, working midway. Me hice un chavo, Bob Ocean de Lighting. Am I seeing things, or this is actually happened before? I've been watching Tony train since I was a little boy. But this is Pepino Cueva, the current world champion. And Torito says, well, get him back out again so I can do it again. Bring him out here, goddamn, I can do it again. I'll kick the shit this time again. He said, no, I don't think it's just not my imagination. Numbers of los pinches right out of the roof. So they moved the training camp from here to Los Angeles.
Get away.
Yeah, get away from
Get away. You just stepped across the line.
Hijo de su chingada.
That's why, like, the father, the son.
But see, now the thing that we have here is this. People hear me talk like that, okay, and they said, "Come on, you trying to make us believe that shit?" A 13, 14, and 15-year-old doing that shit to senior fighters, and I said, "Well, maybe it was just a fucking dream that I had." But that's been proven. A lot of people made national news. It made national news.
Oh, got out quick.
Oh, yeah. Fucking reporters and la chingada, they made a big story out of that.
And the weigh-ins and everything.
I have the clippings donde dice 14-year-old Tony busts up world champion Cuevas.
Yeah,
We have the chingo right up.
Oh my God.
Y tiene la cuerda, así, tiene las cuerdas así. Tony ya le iba a clavar. Tony era zurdo convertido de right hand. Okay, he had a mean level, but he developed a good right. He was going to cock him when I was running, said, "Nah, he'll say, ah, cabrón." Parece que hijo de chingada.
So he's right.
When he was street guy, man. I mean, to this day.
Still the street. He wrote some nice a letter, and he says, Jesus Christ and all that, and then he's writing.
Let me tell you this other one. He got shot with a 45.
Oh my God, that's a miracle.
Right over his heart.
That is a miracle.
It was a hollow point, but for whatever reason, it did not.
It just went straight.
It didn't shatter.
Is that magnums that open?
Yeah.
And they mess everything up? It just went straight through.
Dr. Garcia was my family doctor, He went to the hospital and all that, and then I took him to Dr. Garcia. And my wife used to run a long stick with medication and run it all the way through.
My son Sam was cleaning it. He would clean them up, the wound. He had to do it both sides. But
well, at first you had to do it all the way through.
All the way through.
But
and then
2 days later, see, the wound healed from the inside out.
Okay.
So you couldn't run it through anymore. You would have to go his way and then this way. And then it kept going shallower and shallower because it was healing. But he got shot and what was it? 2 months later, he was in the gym training, and I went to see Dr. Garcia. I don't know what the fuck for. He said, how's Tony doing? He said, oh, he's back. No, El Mundo.
El Mundo García.
He's training again. They go, oh, how's Tony? He's training. Training? Yeah, training. Why? Tony, he got shot with a 45. You know, usually it takes anywhere from a year and a half to 2 years
To heal.
to heal. I said, well, he does bleed, you know, T-shirt bleeds whenever he's training. He goes, no, Tony, he can't do that shit. So I told Tony, Dr. Garcia said that you shouldn't be sparring in the gym. I said, fuck Dr. Garcia, is he going to feed me? Is he going to pay me? No, he's not paying you, but he's the doctor. Well, tell the doctor, oh, kiss my ass. I'm going to treat one drink. I need to fight. I need to make some money. He fought, what, 4 months later, 3 months? He got shot, 4 months later.
Es cuando le peleó a Cardona.
A Cardona en el Sunset Station. He fought the former world champion.
Oh man, that was a fight.
Y when Dr. Garcia wanted, I got him to take it ringside. And he was like this. Una pinche guerra, compa. At that time también you could have a couple of drops of de sangre. Nomás que yo lo limpiaba todo el tiempo y limpiaba aquí de vuelta, echaba vaselina al cabrón. Me decía Dr. Garcia. To this day dice Dr. Garcia, aquel hijo de la chica es un animal, ¿no? Digo, ¿por qué es un animal? No, la chica es mi hijo. Chinga, dijo. It takes about 2 years for a guy to heal a wound like that. You know, he's fighting 4 months later.
Cuando se quebró la mano también.
Y luego se chingó la mano también.
Con, ¿cómo se llama?
Yuri Boy Campos. He broke his hand in the second round. And I stopped the fight in the eighth because he couldn't make it. Se le hinchó adentro. And with the gauze, the bandage, you can't make a fist.
There's a good fight.
Yeah.
There's a good fight. Yuri Boy could take a shot. I was watching that fight.
Yeah.
Well, he was going to quit with Tony. I had a guy that he got beat by Ramsey in the world champion in Sacramento. And I had a fight, Panamanian that I took, had a 7-7 record. He was my son's Paulie's fighter. ¿Cómo chingas se llama el panameño?
Oh, ya se me fue mucha plena.
Darmel Castillo. Andaban en la pelea chingada y el vato que pues era el current world champion, este cabrón, Ramsey, y le anda tirando y Darmel se anda chingando. Entonces aquel le hace, es conmigo, chingue, le hace, con el guante lo hace así, y aquel pendejo se sumó, y un pin jumper. So, Darmel stopped him in 7 rounds. Ya no salió para el 8. No, ya no salió para el 7.
Ese también estaba bueno eso.
Cabrón, ese va.
Bueno, pero
I saved him $7,500.
Ya nos vamos.
Ahorita te arreglo. Ya no, ya dame la cuenta.
Y quería arreglar los papeles porque tenía green card.
Le alcé $7,500. Y dijo, con este me voy para Panamá y arreglo mis papeles para agarrar una...
Le dijo, Tony, no te vayas.
No te vayas. Todo junto, mija.
No.
¿No qué?
No.
I can pay for my own.
¿Qué? Si vas a pagar, paga por todo. Sácame tu chinga Texas card. Anyway, he went back and they would never let him come back.
No lo dejaron.
Pobrecito, chinga, man. Hell of a fighter, man. When he came to us, he was only 7-7. Le decíamos el 7-7. Pero
Very nice. And he came to the school to learn to
hablar inglés.
hablar inglés y español. Yeah.
No, pues español sabía, no la
Un
chingada.
hombre inglés. ¿Qué quiere decir inglés y barrera?
So He's saying that Tony's right hand was more powerful than his left hook. Because when I watch, I'm thinking his left hook is
No,
dead.
Tony was a southpaw.
He's a
He
southpaw.
right everything with the left hand.
But he turned him right.
Pero cuando estaba chiquito, todo quería hacer con la zurda, cabrón. And sometimes when you have southpaw, they become one-handed fighters. And they go, that shit ain't gonna happen to him. Don't voltea derecho. That way he can draw.
And we have one.
But then I had to work on this one. He had a good sneaky right hand, cabrón. Te hacía así, te hacía una finta. Pero así la tenía cuando tú agarras, ya iba en camino. De chingada bien, cabrón.
Separated. Like the left come across the right one. Well, you know, like we're wanting to work with them, and just what's going on and leading, like with that foundation I'm working with in Baltimore, through the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, things that he's already done, he's being still. This little short story is the pride of the West Side.
Hay chingo de negritos que me dicen, man,
That's how I want to script it. Even if we put the fathers and son fight together, I still want to script it.
there's a lot of
This is
those
San
around.
Latin tribe. Not the boys.
Him.
Yeah.
He's the one that.
Him. This
Nah, you can only look. See, this is where
Let me tell you something about my husband.
we separate these
He's
things.
very modest.
No.
He doesn't. Yes, you are.
Listen.
He doesn't want
Listen.
him.
You
like
can
I said,
be-
You're great. You're
you
a great
can be-
trainer. No, I'm not.
You ready? You through?
Okay.
all our lives, we know that too.
One of the things that you have is if you have the right fighter and you have, it's like a carpenter, you get the right carpenter, you get all the nails and all the good lumber, you produce a good building, a good house. Okay? There's a lot of good fighters out there that never develop because they got bad trainers. And you got a lot of good trainers that don't get good elements. So sometimes you have, I'm a good spotter when I see somebody that got potential. Like, I got this, in San Antonio, which at that time was the capital of boxing, professional boxing in the state of Texas. There have never been a woman to headline, as a matter of fact, even now, an all-male profession. The building, the municipal authority, has been the site of professional boxing for years. I had one girl,
She's right
Maribel
there.
Zurita.
There. In the picture.
Yeah, mija.
See the picture?
Sí.
See the girl with the. That's
Okay. ¿Cómo se llama?
Maribel Zurita.
Zurita.
Little Thunder.
Little under.
The little girl came to me. She had a little girl. She's got a little girl that's about, I think she's in Steven's age, 11.
11 or 12.
But anyway, she's this little girl, the mother, Maribel, she came to me and with two coaches that were her coaches. These two guys that were coaching her were two ex-fighters. Tell me,
Right. You're getting ready to what? What you got?
you know, those two trainers are fighters that used to fight for me as amateurs and pros. Well, they had a little gym, you know, that they ran and called Paulie. Anybody come in yet, Paulie? Oh, let's go. Let's go. story begins when I was a youngster, 11, 12 years old.